All right, we're live. How's Miami Heat been doing?
They lost last night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, to the Cavs. I didn't get to see the game. I was in Pilates, but I'm watching the Cavs. I got them on right now. They're up 135 to 113 on Atlanta. They're pretty good.
the Cavs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no shame in losing that. I'm happy with how Khalil Ware has been playing.
it's
Might
weird
win Rookie
having
of
a
the Year.
team that's like at exactly 500 constantly.
Yeah,
Because you just know what's going to happen is even if they get some momentum, they're probably just going to lose a couple games and be back at 500 at any.
yeah,
Like it's once they get into that like 50-50 mode, it's impossible for them to get separation.
yeah.
What's
That's
really
what I'm saying.
funny is like the Warriors are like that, but then like you'll see the team right below them or right above them, like the Kings, they're also in that area, and they're like, let's just blow it up. Fuck this.
Well, I don't think they have a choice. I don't think Fox has to either. I think they're looking to they're seeing the future and being like, well, we're not going to keep this guy, so we might as well get something for him now, and maybe we can tag into this Jimmy deal somehow, and get something else out of it. You know how it is when there's these deals going about, all these teams try to get in there and get something out of it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let me see if I can poach a pick, and they're like, well, if I can get rid of this contract or add to this and get a lot back, get like a bunch of first round picks back. So the timing is kind of weird. It just happened right, like right before the trade deadline when all this other stuff's going on. It's like, all right, now we're going to trade Fox. It's like, all right. There's like probably a lot of back channel conversations going on right now. Yeah, I was listening to this Heat podcast and they were talking about the next 4 games for the Heat, and they went over them. And I forget what the games are. And the other host was like, "Look, we know how this is going to go. 2-2. They're going to win a game they probably shouldn't win, and then they'll lose a game they probably definitely should win, and then they'll get blown out by somebody better than them. Because we're right at 23 and 23, just like the Warriors."
Yeah, I think we I think with the last game we got one game over 500, but we'll be back down there any day now. We beat the Thunder yesterday, which was a crazy game. I only saw the last half of it.
Yeah, I read about it online. SGA dropped like 50.
Yeah, they were doing the we'll let that guy score, but nobody else will. So go ahead, get 50 points. But he had 20 free throws, so I just I don't respect games like that.
Yeah, these scams. Scam GA.
Yeah, it's been so irritating having this cold because the first day it was I went out, I worked all day, and I came home and I was like, I think I have a cold. You know what I mean? I was like, I think I didn't feel sick at all that day, but then I think we were talking to Skinner and I was stuffy and I was like, what the fuck? I think I'm getting sick. And then yesterday I woke up and I was like, yep, I'm sick. I feel like shit,
Mm-hmm.
But I tried to get extra sleep and just in general feel better. It could be allergies too, and I just never know. I was looking at the allergy forecast or whatever, and I never know because I didn't grow up with allergies. I never know what I'm allergic to, if it's allergies or whatever. And my mucus has been clear the entire time, so could be a cold, could be allergies. I don't know. It could be COVID for all I know, but
Yeah, I mean, could just be a little worn down from all the walking you've been doing. Body needs a break.
um, I,
Happens.
you get sick though. You'll just get
Sometimes your immune system will get worn down from it, and that's why people have rest days. Everyone has rest days.
interesting.
Your body has to rebuild. Rest.
I've been Mr. No Days Off, bro.
You can't. You gotta take days off though.
Well, today was
Take
my day
Sunday
off.
off.
I only walked 2 miles.
Take Sunday off, man. It's the Lord's Day.
I'm gonna redouble my efforts. Take
Just
some
double my job.
vitamin C.
That might help.
What?
That might help.
Yeah.
Maybe you got those EMFs. You need to
I'm
get one
eating
of those.
oranges.
You gotta get one of those pendants from Seamus.
What is it? An EMF?
I think that's what they're calling it, electromagnetic frequencies.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up EMF protection. Cell phone cases. 5G shielding world. This is crazy. I'm gonna present my screen. It's like look at this. You can buy a slouch beanie with EMF protection on it for $40. What a
That's
bargain.
stylish.
What is this? EMF neutralizing whole house plug neutralizes EMF from outside or inside. EMF radiation protection zip up hoodie for $300 or $250. It's psychotic.
That's crazy. That beanie's kind of tight though. I wonder
Yeah,
if
it's like kind of the one you have now, except for it's got like extra protection. Let's see
yeah,
what the
get that
reviews
chip
are
in
like
there.
on this thing. Yeah. Right now you're extremely vulnerable to 5G rays and stuff.
I've been saying that.
Yeah.
That's been the problem this whole time.
What the fuck? Let's look what we got here. Look at her face. She looks like she's been absolutely fucked by 5G, but not anymore.
She's awakened.
What if I'm sick because of the 5G?
It's always a possibility. You do
Yeah.
soak in a lot of fucking frequencies. It's not good for you.
My God, dude. Oh, it comes in gray as well. Look at this one. She's like coy. Like 5G can't get me anymore. EMF radiation shielding, one size fits all, independent lab tested. Yeah, I imagine it would be independent lab tested because no real lab, like this is just somebody in the garage being like, yep, it works. Okay, let's see what it says here. It blocks Wi-Fi, cell phones, 5G, Bluetooth, tablets, RF. Premium quality cotton lined with reliable protection of silver radiation shielded fabric. I just don't believe that.
That's
You
crazy
can
because
make
like
this
the
beanie a
studies
convenient way
on
to protect your head. What?
the studies they do on that stuff of like how much does like the waves from your phone affect your brain? It's so minuscule, like the radiation. You get like more
Right.
radiation from like flying in a plane or like doing all kinds of everyday shit that we do already.
This premium cotton line with reliable protection of silver radiation shielding fabric makes this beanie a convenient way to protect your head from everyday radiation. It is super comfortable. This EMF beanie is well designed for any women and men who need protection from everyday radiation. Numerous studies have shown that everyday radiation impacts the approach cells grow. In fact, impacts the approach cells grow, DNA replicates, and brain cells function. Because of this, health experts believe early childhood and pregnant women are more vulnerable to cell phone with wireless radiation because their bodies and brains are still growing and developing, and they absorb more radiation than adults. Washing instructions: wash in cold water. Use phosphate-free detergent.
Don't wear deodorant because they'll kill you.
How to test our project: use an EMF meter with an RF setting. Do not test by wrapping a cell phone inside the product. What would that even mean?
I don't know.
Wait, how are people independently testing this? They just like put their cell phone on and see if people can give them a call? It's like, if you do that, it'll expose this doesn't work at all. You have to use one of these phony radiation testers that we specifically have designed and sell. I gotta see the reviews.
Can you imagine a
Maybe,
blanket, the EMF protection blanket? That's
dude,
crazy.
this is like what that guy, I haven't seen it all, but
Yarn, EMF protection yarn.
wait, what?
Is
Where's
that
that?
yarn? It's like, what is that right there?
I think it's all
Oh, that's
just
not
different
yarn.
blankets.
That's blankets. My bad. I couldn't. I'm looking
Oh
at it
yeah,
on my
yeah.
phone.
I think
I
this
was
one
like,
right here kind of looks like it, but
yeah, that's crazy.
it's like
EMF detection.
what's that show? Better Call Saul. That dude had that fucking like uh he had that like silver blanket thing that he thought like he in the show it's like this man is crazy, but I feel like most Americans now really believe this shit. Or let's not say most, like 50%, maybe
Yeah,
45%.
yeah, so, yeah. Let's give it between like 40, 50 in there for sure.
I kind of want to ask like people that I know, like, do you believe that it like you're being seriously impacted by this? Block CMF looks cute. I'm sensitive to EMR and love this hat. I'm on my third in 2 years. They can be hand washed with a gentle detergent and air dried. One of my hats fell in the washing machine accidentally and was NFG after that. We tested it with our meter. What does NFG mean?
I have no idea.
I
Not
like
fucking
the fit
good.
and appearance. People have asked me whether to get one, thinking it's a fashion accessory. The only thing I dislike is that over time the silver oxidizes slightly and the hat looks dirty when clean. So I guess I'll be buying a new one every year or so from now on.
Well, I'm sure they hate to hear that.
I was a little concerned about this one size fits all description product listing, but I can see how it's possible. I have long hair and concerned when it would be too snug. It is fitted and slouchy, allowing it to sit comfortably on my head. I have a CPAP and got this for EMF shielding, since I now have the Bluetooth signal from the equipment right next to my head. The fabric is thin enough that I can comfortably wear it under the straps for the CPAP mask. This person's living like fucking Darth Vader. That's how they're
Yeah,
sleeping every night.
I feel bad for him.
I
Also,
also
he feels
have
bad for him.
I also have bought the blanket and several other items from Radiusmart, and every product has been extremely well made.
Radio smart.
Let's see some negative reviews. I want to see some of the cranks that were like, I still got radiation. Here we go. Tested with EMF meter. Does not work. If there's one review to trust, let it be this one. This product does not work. I bought $100+ EMF meter to test this product. I put it in front of my phone and it did not reduce the EMF readings. I then thought there might be a slight chance that my meter may not be accurate. So I bought an EMF blocking beanie from the company HAVN, formerly known as Lambs. And when I tested that, the EMF reading on my meter was reduced. Also, this beanie is large so that it fits the head very loosely and looks silly. Like it doesn't work, and I look like a douchebag wearing it, dude.
No offense to that guy, but it seems like somebody you could definitely rip off pretty easily.
This man has spent over $200 to wear a beanie so far
Yeah,
that
it's crazy.
that will like keep his head free from radiation, and he just keeps like spending more money trying to prove that it does or does not work.
What a money pit.
I also bought a cap that claims to block EMF from another seller on Amazon, and that too did not pass my test for the EMF meter. So just beware. In conclusion, do not buy this product. It's a scam. If the placebo makes you feel better, though, then enjoy.
Is it possible that his EMF meter's not working right? You
Well,
know?
that's what he said. He said it was possible, but he tested it on a different cap that's better, and that did work.
Yeah. Maybe that one's broken too, though. You know?
No, but
Can't trust his
then
EMF meters.
no, but he's saying that he bought two hats, this hat and a different hat, and the other hat, it worked. This hat didn't work. Then he bought
Still
another
talking.
hat, and that also didn't work. So only one hat so far of the three he bought has been working. This person tested by putting my iPhone inside it, and it was 100% a load of crap. I can call and stream on my phone when it's inside this piece of shit. It's very unpleasant to be deceived once again. This thing has nothing to do with EMF, 5G, Wi-Fi protection. This hat is real thin and does nothing. I put my cell phone in it and it did not stop the signal at all. That must be why the thing says like don't test it by putting your cell phone in it. Because like yeah, then it'll obviously not work because it's not a
Yeah,
real product. It's
it's just a
fake.
blanket.
Yeah.
Literally just a blanket. A lot of people are getting ripped off, though. That's great. It's really a good sign.
Yeah. EMF,
I like
this technology like came out of nowhere and now it's like everywhere.
Technology? Is it technology?
Well, no, but this like scam, I guess. Like this snake oil came out of nowhere, and now it's everybody's using it. Wait a minute, is this an EMF adult hooded poncho that I'm looking at right here? Oh shit! Check this one out. Present. Look at this one. Look at this dude. He's like a Jedi. I think if I had to choose between wearing something this goofy and just getting the radiation poisoning, I'm going with the poisoning.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go out looking like Obi-Wan.
It protects from. I'm going to see the reviews for this one. 5 benefits of RadioSmart products. Protect you and your family from 5G and RF radiation. Reduce radio frequency energy effectively. Smart design for the whole family and your daily use. Peace of mind. And tested by an accredited FCC lab.
I can just picture a guy wearing that getting out of a Cybertruck. It's like...
Oh, this one's mostly negative reviews. People are saying this one's ass. Looks great, not so effective. Recently purchased the EMF poncho advertised to shield against RF frequencies, but sadly it fails to live up to its manufacturer's claims. Despite their assurances, I found it ineffective in blocking out RF signals as promised. Upon wearing the poncho in various environments, including areas with known high RF activity, I didn't notice any significant reduction in exposure. But how would you? It's not a real thing. Oh shit!
You can hear it. The EMF meter in there is just going off.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Really offer much protection. I'll pull it out and you can hear it. And we're still getting the same readings.
Damn.
So, not too sure about it.
Not too sure about it. It's garbage. You bought garbage.
Just got to do more research.
And you look stupid, too.
He's just looking out. He's the Ralph Nader of this crew. Just looking out for consumers. How goofy that looks.
Yeah, see, this is the kind of thing that I imagine Russell Brand is selling.
That's exactly what Sheamus had around his neck on that WWE video.
Oh, it is. Look, it's the exact same one.
Yeah.
He's selling the magical amulet.
Man. What a shame. We watched that Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Look at him, dude.
I forgot about how funny that dude was. On Rumble.
As seen on Russell Brand's Stay Free on Rumble. Oh, look at
it. Don't you, and haven't you always felt that on some various frequencies traveling through the air could be impactful? Could 5G towers be detrimental? I suppose they could.
No, probably not.
Just like Meryl.
Human beings have always had. And suspicions of technological innovation because it seems mysterious.
I like how he's like the kind of like, you know, weird like woo-woo hippie that has like done like a full, like he believed in crystals probably, like the magical properties of crystals, and it has gone so far to the extreme that he believes that all technology is bad, that he can make a magical amulet, or that he will buy a magical amulet that will like stop computer waves.
I'm not sure he believes in this.
I think
he might be just scamming people. I don't know.
Or I think he believes in it as much as the other shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You said Sheamus
feels a little. That pendant. Yeah, that's exactly the thing. That's the box. He was handed to Jay Cargill. She's excited to get assistance for her workouts with the EMF blocker. And I'm watching this video. And
Sheamus, I love the AI overview. WWE star Sheamus has discussed electromagnetic fields and how to protect himself from them. He has said that he can keep his phone in his pocket to protect himself from EMFs, which cause cell damage, inflammation, and sickness. That could be me. Oh, you're right. It's the same exact one. Ares Tech. Oh, Randy Orton's doing it too.
Oh wow.
Oh, look at there. They go together. This is like an official video. Or the I can't click it. It's just a it's a proudly Carney industry. Pro wrestler's gonna pro wrestler. That's crazy. Oh, look at here he goes. Today I'm joined by Randy Orton. Oh, they're going to be promoting it together.
Dude, I bet if you went to a WWE show, you'd see just a crowd littered with those things.
Here we go.
So this sticks on your phone, so it protects me against all the negative effects of EMF. So I only keep my phone in my pocket, so it's protecting me from all those issues I can have. Again, inflammation, and helps fight against sickness and all the cell damage that can happen from EMFs. So I'm protecting me. Life Tune. So this sticks on your
Real dog.
phone, so it protects me against all the negative effects of EMF.
We're learning about EMF radiation and how to protect ourselves from the damaging rays of cell phones and whatnot.
Look at that absolute fucking cartoon character, dude. Talk about EMF. This
one of the guys in
motherfucker
the
is
new Ninja
JFM, just for men, bro. That's crazy, dude.
Sophie says, I have a couple of those. Works pretty good. She's got to be trolling. I don't think she's really into the EMF scene.
The unserious comment.
Colin says, maybe I'm not fat. It's just EMF inflation. I don't know if you could tell, Ibrahim, but I have a little bit of a cold. It's like passing at this point, but
yeah,
like,
you
wondering
had it
if
last
it's
night
'cause
when we were
EMF.
talking. Oh yeah.
I think it's 'cause
Those
EMF.
waves, man.
Yeah.
Something about like the radio waves from those. It like vibrates your sinuses, and that's what causes them to swell a little bit.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's crazy.
It's
I'm
absolutely.
glad we're on top of it. You know, this new era of science.
I heard they make your dick small too.
Oh, is that what it is?
Got him.
I wonder if I didn't watch the RFK hearings today, but I wonder if he's on that wave too. He's got to be.
I'll
right?
give you a summary.
100%.
Dude,
did you watch
see
it
that-
for real?
No, I saw a clip where he said that Black people have stronger immune systems, and so they should be on a different vaccine schedule than
What does
white
that mean?
people.
They should be getting less vaccines because they're so strong?
Yeah, which is like a fucking extension of that absolutely fucked notion that floated around and to this day still does in medical communities, that like Black people feel less pain or don't feel pain as much or some crazy shit like that. So just in the middle of fucking Capitol Hill, like perpetuating like old racist propaganda from fucking
old
like
eugenics bullshit.
yeah, insane. And he's sitting here talking, you know, I
Fucker, you can't even talk.
in the clip. Yeah, so I saw a study. Something. He's like trying to just looking absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Mark Millar
I saw
tweeted
that.
something. Yeah, he
I'm
goes,
not on Twitter. What did he say?
well, somebody shared it on Blue Sky. He said, where is it? He says his father and uncle were murdered by the establishment, and yet here he is still believing in the American dream and common sense politics in a filthy two-party system serving only the war machine. RFK is special. Imagine someone this decent in the White House.
No.
And I said,
refuse.
dude, imagine those two motherfuckers in a room together. Nobody would understand a fucking word coming out of either one of their mouths, but you know it would just be absolutely inane bullshit. It'd be, you know, you know, if you look at right because of blah, 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 like absolutely fucking mush mouths, dude. And these guys just really think they're like absolute
Yeah.
clowns, man.
Yeah,
You
a
know,
whole lot of them.
Mark Millar is lucky that he got in when the getting was good. I mean, I think if he came out now with the same stuff he was putting out, like there'd be no Netflix deal. There'd be no fucking, you know, because his stuff sucks. It was just like it was a smaller pond back then, you know?
Yeah, and he worked with some of the most
Well,
amazing artists in the business.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's also that like he had like he was coasting off other people's waves back then really hard to the point where like he built one of his own and then was just like, all right, I'm good. Like I don't need to deal with any of this shit anymore.
Yeah,
Yep.
and there's always some people who can like convince the normies like in you know in positions of power to grant lots of money for developmental shit. Like there's always some if you can be good in the room with them and like convince them that you're the comic book guy, they'll fucking throw money at you to a certain extent, you know, especially back then.
Yep.
And I think part of his rise was that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Have you read any of his books like ever?
Yeah, I was reading like when all his Image stuff was coming out, when he like stopped doing Big Two stuff, I was reading all that. So I read Superior, I think it was called, and like Nemesis, and you know that whole wave of stuff. And I didn't really find it like I only bought them for the art because like Laniel Yu drew Superior and like
Yeah,
Steve
that's
McNiven drew
incredible.
Nemesis, you know.
J.G. Jones drew Wanted. That was pretty sick.
Yeah,
That was a little bit before the era Ibrahim's talking about, but yeah, he is good.
the only one that I did read the Magic Order because of Olivia Coipel, who's my favorite artist, and that book's actually not bad by Millar standards. Like it's halfway decent, but the art is what fucking sends it, you know. I mean, but yeah, it's
all of his books are just like, you know, the superhero. What if he was a cunt?
pretty much
Like, you know, Batman. What if he was a piece of shit? And it's like, yeah, what if, dude? That's crazy.
yeah. I've definitely leafed through Jupiter's Legacy because of the Frank Quietly stuff.
Yeah. I've read it for the Frank Quietly stuff, and it's, you know, it's tamed by his standards, but there's also just no ideas in it, which makes it a little less exciting, you know.
Yeah,
Like it's just there. It's just like what's happening means almost nothing because it's just about Quietly's drawings and that.
yeah, he's never had like a high concept that was interesting or special. It's literally always just a remix of like, you know, like Magic Order is kind of just like, what if, you know, Magic was edgier or something, you know, like
like Chris Angel edgy, like
I'm a little happy knowing that he exists somewhere out there and doesn't like me, even though he barely knows who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it makes me feel really good knowing that like that somewhere out there he knows only enough to be like, oh, Ramon Villalobos, name sounds very familiar. I don't like him.
Right.
Like I don't want him to be like obsessed with hating me, but I just like the idea that if my name came up, he'd be like, no, not a good person.
Yeah, he's a dope.
Well, you're
It's
no
a real
RFK.
judge me by my enemies type situation going on with me these days. Like, you may think I'm bad, but I'm not up here like dick riding fucking RFK Jr. That's crazy.
It's always so wild to me that like dudes who are hella out of touch have no idea how out of touch they are, you know?
Yeah.
They
That's
think
the
they're
comic
just
trait.
like this underrepresented, you know, everyman or something. It's like, bro, you're a millionaire. You don't know.
He was also
shit.
gassing up Tucker Carlson with the same kind of thing. Like, he represents what everybody, the common man, is thinking. It's like, how would you know? You're rich as fuck.
Yeah, and also like everybody knows that dude is a partisan shill. And a hack.
Right.
Like
he's like the heir to the Swanson family. Like, they make like microwave dinners or whatever, right?
Yeah, he barely even tries to like deny it himself anymore. You know, like
Colin says great Hester art on his Swamp Thing, but after Morrison leaves it so boring. Also
yeah,
says how come no
anything.
comic pros are hashtag resisting this time? That's a great question. I haven't, to be honest with you, I'm not on Twitter or Blue Sky all that much these days, so I don't know who is and who is not resisting. But I think like a lot of those old guys, they're even older than they were last time, and they're just tired, dude.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I think
Who will pick up the sword?
it's. I think it's a little harder to hashtag resist this time. You know, I think everybody's a little disillusioned by like last time we thought that a lot of checks and balances and stuff would come into play, and that we kept having these like dangling carrots of like, oh well, the Mueller investigation. Oh well, surely this is, you know, the Supreme Court will strike this down. Surely this will happen, and then it just like none of it happened, and then now it's all happening again. So I think a lot of people are just like, yeah, I'm resisting.
Yeah, I'm real upset about it. It is funny though, because like his numbers are already plummeting. Like Trump's like
well, because they fucking shut off federal aid to everything for a day.
Well, they tried, yeah.
But like,
they tried,
dude, what the amount of stuff that fucks up for just like the 24, 36 hours that was like people in residential care facilities who are on Medicaid, like it's such a mountain of paperwork to get anything done in those situations. And if you throw a fucking spanner in the works, as our friends across the pond say, like it's just fucks things for like a month at least, dude. I mean, it's crazy, and that's just one like ecosystem, you know?
Right.
So
and it was like what's so fucking crazy about that is they put out like a 2-page memo that was like, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna like be able to cherry pick which things we will and will not give federal funding. And then like what you said, like they were like very specific though, not Social Security, not Medicare, because why? That's what old people depend on, and that's their voting block, right?
Right.
And so like, but then when they realize, oh wait, you guys are actually mad about this? Oops, our bad. Never mind. We didn't say that actually, but we're also not walking it back. There's still going to be a freeze, but actually everything's going to continue as it was. But actually, like then they started saying like, oh, it was Elon's group that decided to push that out. Like Trump didn't even see it. It's just, you know, it's the same mess that it always was before. It's just more incompetence.
Yeah.
The
and,
fucking.
You know,
go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say they fire like air traffic controllers, and they're shocked when there's like air traffic control problems. People fucking die, and they're like, "Oh wow, why didn't the helicopter go up or move out of the way?" It's like, what do you mean?
It's the dumbest
That's why you
thing
have
I've
air
heard.
traffic controllers.
Yeah. No, they do that every time. That's what happened with
stupid.
COVID. There was the whole like, you know, pandemic response unit of whatever fucking federal agency, and they just said, "No, we don't need this."
Yeah.
And then boom, pandemic. You know,
this really goes. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, a lot of this stuff, you know, everybody, oh, Trump did this, Trump did that, and to your point a second ago, he doesn't know what most of this stuff, like this is being done in his name, and it's kind of frustrating that, I mean,
Stephen Miller, man. Stephen Miller.
And all those cronies in the cabinet, you know, like, and on the one hand, it's helpful to diminish the name brand of Trump by pinning these things on him. But on the other hand, I feel like it ignores, like, you know, it gives too much credit to him. He's a fucking imbecile who couldn't find a can of Diet Coke if he wanted one without help, you know?
Yeah, it's just the reality of the situation. That's what's going on. He is their useful tool.
Exactly.
And they're using him. He's a puppet. He's just a, you know, he's got dementia. He's worse than Biden, you know.
And he's just trying to cash out on the Trump meme coins and the fucking NFTs and all this bullshit. You know what I mean? He's he's incredibly happy to just take a fuck ton of money with like crypto billionaires and shit to just be there smiling and like giving the thumbs up and like just like literally just being a clown for them while they do all the robber baron shit.
Yeah.
And to have his debts paid off or whatever, you know, for the little buyouts he's getting for giving people airtime and shit.
Yeah.
Colin says pausing FAFSA too. Our generation already fucked by debt with FAFSA and things are getting cheaper. Just fucking each generation more and more. Yeah. But you
So-
know the thing with the plane crash and like the way Trump tweeted about it, or Truth Socialed about it, it really goes back to what I was saying last week about how like our entire like the entire like society that we live in now are just people that want to complain about the manager. And this is why Republicans are so ill-equipped to be a governing body, because they don't actually want to be the manager. They just want to complain about the manager. To the
Yeah.
point where the president of the United States is going, who's at fault here? Motherfucker, you are at fault here. You know what I mean? And it ends with you. That's why you're the president. And like,
And
it's
there-
easier when it's Joe Biden or Barack Obama or whoever that you can just be like, they're bad, they're bad, they're bad. But like, egg prices have only skyrocketed since he took office for things that he has done in the week that he's taken over.
I went to the
And-
supermarket today, and there's a sign on the eggs saying, "Due to a shortage of eggs, please don't buy more than 2 cartons."
Yeah, I mean,
It's like plastered all over the place.
it's because
Yeah.
the avian flu and all this shit. But it's like, why is the avian flu so bad? Because of the way we are, like, not handling the flu shit, and like we have a very precious ecosystem of the way the world works, and it's been churning along, getting worse and worse because Republicans defund things and try to break the government. And it's like, yeah, but like, actually, the FDA and air traffic control and all this shit, it all works in synchronicity with one another to keep the current system as it is. And this is why, like, when we talked about how like it was so irritating that like Republicans were like, oh my god, like this is just like, I was so worried that we were going to lose, and like now things are going to be good. It's like, no, things are going to continue to get worse. But the thing is, they don't realize that like the current situation already benefited them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, they were already the
Yeah.
beneficiaries of the system, and the only thing they wanted was for other people to not benefit from the system,
Yes.
because they wanted more, because they felt like extra burdened. And like, it's just,
I sent you that video, right, Tony, about the psychology professor thing?
I
may not have. So, okay, there was this like a TikTok thing. This woman, she said, 10 years ago, I was in a psychology class and we had our final. And the instructor said, okay, I'm going to give you guys a chance. If everyone votes unanimously for this, everybody gets 95 and you don't have to take the exam.
Mm-hmm.
And so they voted, and out of 50 people or whatever, 20 people, maybe 120 people voted no, right? And then the professor put up another survey. Okay, what's the reason? One was like, because I think I can do better than a 95. 2 was like, I don't remember what the other one, but the final reason was, I don't want somebody getting the same grade as me because if they didn't study as hard as me, because I don't think they deserve it.
Yeah.
And every person who said no chose that reason.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want someone to have something they thought that they didn't deserve. And the professor said, this is the most important psychology lesson I will give you all term, is this thing right here. He said, I've been doing this for 10 years and no class has ever chosen unanimously to get the 95, because statistically only like 10% of you would get a 95 or better. Everybody has chosen to basically like not win because they don't want other people to win. Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like a perfect example of that whole thing Ramon was just talking about.
Yeah.
I don't want them to have it, so I'll cut off my nose to spite my own face.
It's the whole student loan argument. Where it's like, oh, I don't want you to forgive their loans because I paid off mine.
Right.
It's like,
and you would have got a 95 and moved on. So what do you care? Like, live your life, dude. Go ahead.
Do you know about like the Mr. Beast games, like the show that he was doing?
I think you told me about it as they were happening, like where he would just do like crazy shit, like I'll give you $500 to.
That's like that's all of his content. It's really disgusting. Like, he's a disgusting person. But he had this thing that was like the big show on Amazon, where he got these like thousands of people in this one like sort of warehouse facility in like Nevada, I think. And there was more games part of it. Like people got injured. It became a whole thing because people like were denied access to their medicine and all kinds of shit. But at the beginning of it, he goes like,
It's fucking
do you
nuts. This
it's
guy's
nuts,
a
dude.
YouTuber, right?
He's a YouTuber, yeah.
We just give the keys to a kingdom to these fucking. Go ahead, sorry.
No, but he started out going like, you know, you're gonna win. Like if you win these games, you the prize is upwards of like a couple $1 million or whatever, right? But at the beginning of it, and there's like thousands of people in this big ass room, or maybe like hundreds or whatever. There's just a ton of people, and he goes, if you press this button, you'll get a share of like $100,000. So if like, you know, 2 of you press it, you'll get $50,000 each or whatever it is, right? And like nobody wanted to press it because they all thought they were going to be the millionaire or whatever. You know how quick my ass would have pressed that button, dude?
Oh, dude.
I'm like, give me money, I'm out. I don't need to be doing
Dude,
this. This is bullshit.
Back when I used to watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire as a kid, I was like, first question, I don't know. I'm taking that money, dude. I'm walking.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Give me a guaranteed win any day of the week, man. You know?
Give me that 40K, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, we all think that we are so fucking smart, you know? It's just.
Yeah. Well, and what was that thing? I think, or the last cycle of all this bullshit, somebody kind of coined this little anecdote. It was like everybody thinks that they're a temporarily broke millionaire or something.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what fuels a lot of these people with not wanting other people to have shit, because they think that it's going to take away from them finally getting to that point or whatever.
Par says, why do cities not have public pools anymore? White people didn't want black kids swimming for free.
Yeah,
we got public pools in my little town over here. There's one
right
by the, there, but I guess not in like New York City. I guess maybe like you would see in Raging Bull. I think they banned public pools because they didn't want kids doing doo-wop music. It was too dangerous.
Hey, when Jake LaMotta fucking picking up underage girls.
What a great movie.
Get those Jersey boys out of here.
Dion and the Belmonts are freaking out, man. This is all heavy stuff. This is all like big news stuff. And we're not, we don't know what we're talking about. This is all satire and parody. Do you guys want to talk about some irrelevant news? Oh, we never even started the show formally. Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Cool Meat. It's because I was waiting for you to get here, Ibrahim. I was like, when Ibrahim gets here, I'll start the thing.
Oh, wow.
You
You're blaming DEI, dude. That's crazy.
You said you were going to be here at like 6:30, and you were, but I was like, I'll just wait. And then I forgot by the time you got here because I was too busy on the EMF.
Yeah, no worries. But
welcome to the show, everyone. We're 3 comic artists that are, temporarily, broke millionaires ourselves, if I'm being honest. And, we like to have these shows once a week to talk with you, our dozens and dozens of fans.
We appreciate all of you.
How are you guys doing this week?
Yeah, we should do an official sound off in the chat. Just, let us know you're here.
Sound off in the chat. I bet you guys, though.
Oh, I'm chilling. Let me put it in the chat real quick.
Say what's up.
I actually got to open the YouTube window.
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, got a new water heater today. So,
Fire.
Hell yeah.
Come up.
Hell yeah. Glad that went smoothly.
Thank you. It actually was very smooth. They were in and out like pretty quick. It was like done in half a day, if that.
That's what she said.
Hey.
I had like 2 very interesting encounters on my walks that I've been going on, on Sunday or Saturday, one of the 2 days, over the weekend. And I told you guys about this in our chat, but I was walking, and I've been doing this every day, but like different times in the day. Usually, like it's not specific every day. It's like 9 o'clock or whatever. But one of the days on Saturday, I was walking, and this like woman who was like, I would say like 15 years older than me. She's like sort of like late 40s, like jogger. And like to me, all white women of that age look the same. Like they might as well be different people, or the same person, and I can't tell the difference in my mind, you know? Colin says I'm gonna go see a Sundance movie. But anyways, I wonder which one. But she stopped and she was like yelling something at me, so I took out my headphone. I'm like, "Oh, what's going on?" And she was like, "Oh, I see you walking every day. I'm so like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Like, I don't know how to respond to that. You know what I mean? But I was like, "Oh, thanks, I appreciate it." And then we like just had a quick chat, like, "Oh, I'm just walking every day like 4 miles or whatever." And she was saying like, "Oh, that's good. That's good for your joints, like to not be doing anything over that or whatever. But it's good to like get out and do it." Which I was like, yeah, yeah, But she's like, she looked like a serious, like she's jogging every day,
Yeah.
But like I said, like to me, since all people of her sort of like ilk kind of look the same, like I didn't notice her like, as like, but me, a bigger dude who's like just like this, probably angry or sullen looking guy walking down the street, it probably does like stand out quite a bit. You know what I mean?
You had to pull
Especially in
God snack out of your
Stockton, 'cause-
ear to be like, "What's that?"
Especially
I walk
Excuse me.
in
I walk
Stockton,
alone. I don't know if you heard.
in Stockton, there's not that many people that are like pedestrians in general, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you'll go like miles without seeing anybody. But then 2 days ago, it was like the day before I was getting sick, I saw this older guy, and he was like stopping right in front of my house. Like, so I had to walk around him on the sidewalk.
Is he driving or? Oh, he
No,
was walking.
he was walking as well, and he had like a little stroller, but it was like it turned out to be a stroller for a cat, which apparently they make.
That'd be
It was
tight
like
if he
a
was
little-
like, he saw you, he's like, "Hop in, son."
So I was like walking around him. He
It's
goes,
your
"Oh."
kids, Ramon. Sorry, it's your Doc Brown.
He was like, "Oh, I see you walking all the time," and so like, I had a chat with him because he had like a Wolverine shirt on, and we was talking about like, he used to collect comics, and he's from Mexico, and he learned how to read by reading comics, or learned how to read and speak English by reading comic books because the actions would match the words and stuff. And I kind of told him my grandpa had a similar story, and it was like really, it was nice to like meet another guy in the neighborhood. I kind of recognized him, but not really. He's like, normally I walk my dog, and I'm like, "Oh, if you had the dog, I probably would recognize you because I would remember the dog, not like now I would remember him." But he was like this older dude, and he was like, "Oh, Carnell, nice walk." He was telling me how like he was on Xanax, and he stopped it because he started walking so much, and it helped him with his anxiety. And he was like, I don't know if you're the same, but you should do that too." And I was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with this guy telling strangers to get off their meds if they need them. But he is right. Like, it did help me mentally and, physically probably. So I was like,
that's like a known thing, right? I mean, more
Yeah,
exercise is better for your mental health and stuff.
Just walking in general, I feel like is just,
That's
what I
he's
always
like,
hear.
"Carnell, you need to get out those SSRIs, bro."
Next time you see him, tell him about those EMFs. Like, man,
Yeah.
you need to get one of these EMF blockers.
What was
Wave,
sick about
dude.
this dude was he had on like really bright blue pants that matched the cat stroller exactly. And when he told me he was walking his cat and he pointed down at the stroller, I kind of looked at it, and the cat, like the stroller had like a netting over it, so I guess the cat doesn't jump out,
Yeah.
The cat just kind of like looked at me like so sad. Anyways, it was very nice to like have these two like interactions with people that have noticed that I'm walking every day, and it's like kind of meeting people in the neighborhood instead of just like being on this completely solitary thing. It's
Yeah.
nice. It's
Oh,
really
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I get that with walking my dog. There's like a set little group of dog walkers that I see and meet. Sometimes not great ones, but for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah, same here. We got Dory has her buddies that
Yeah.
we see all the time when we're walking around. Every once in a while, a new one pops up, and you got to give it that. Hey, is your dog cool? And then
Yeah.
they're cool.
Oh,
Let
he's
them stay on.
friendly. Tries
Yeah.
to fucking eat your dog. Cool.
I'm also I'm working on like commissions right now, not like pages. It feels so good. Well, that's not true. I'm inking pages, but I'm also mostly inking commissions right now, and it feels so good to not have like pages looming over me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like that feeling of like it's like going on like summer break, but I know it's only gonna last like 2 weeks before I have to start something else. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So that's what those cover artists feel all the time. They're just
Yeah, I don't know how
Endless
they
summer.
endless summer. You guys want to talk about some irrelevant news?
Let's do
let's
it.
get to
Are you familiar with the show Smallville?
Oh, yeah,
You know what I'm going with this, or
I do.
okay? So
My
from-
Instagram algorithm fed this one to me pretty quickly.
I would imagine it does. You know what's funny was we were talking to our boy Skinner, like I said the other day. He wants to come on the show. I told him absolutely, or like I invited him on the show, and he was like, "Yeah, that'd be cool." But when he was talking to us, he was like, "Where's Ibrahim, the guy who likes Superman?" And we were like, "Oh, he's busy or whatever." But he was like, "Why does he like Superman so much, anyways?" And me and Tony were like there in defense of Superman because Skinner was just shitting all over it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like it's such a weird thing. It's like, why would somebody like Superman? It's one of the most popular characters in like American cultural history. Like,
Also the world.
yeah,
Like,
the world.
you can't find a corner of this planet where somebody doesn't recognize that symbol,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really had us going that day.
That's
But
funny.
why, like, why is it? Because that's easily your favorite superhero. That's why the algorithm feeds that to you.
Yeah.
And plug, you just posted 2 hot videos about Superman figures on your channel, Ibrahim Mustafa.
I did.
Yeah, dude, those are sick.
One, I'll show you right here. I made one of the first in the world, probably technically the second
Exclusive.
figure of the new Superman.
Oh shit.
And yeah, it's doing numbers on my channel. It's pretty cool. Like, people are really, a lot of the comments are like, "Yeah, I don't like that suit at all, but you did a great job." But yeah, it's funny. I used to feel like I needed to defend things like that. Like,
Yeah, I don't think you do. I'm just
no, I know. I'm just like,
Yeah.
if I were there, I would be like, yeah, I mean, I guess, you don't have to like it.
No, to be fair to Skinner, I don't think he was saying like you're weird for liking it. I think he was just genuinely curious because he doesn't care about Superman.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just didn't get the whole why anyone cares, not
A
And
lot
I
of
think
people feel that way about Superman because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
too.
he's
I
good.
think he's
just good.
boring because he's a good person.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what he said.
Exactly what he said.
Like, I don't know.
And,
I can't. And Skinner's an empathetic person, so I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's not like he's. But yeah, I think some people that's just not enough for them in a character. And as somebody who tries to like make the best decisions I can as a person every day, like, I imagine what that would be like if you could fucking destroy anything, kill anybody, fucking break anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a scene in, I think,
Or
the
just take
Justice
off
League
and
comic
leave and just say fuck it all.
Yeah, leave me alone, Dr. Manhattan style, right?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I got all this fucking shit on me. But there's an episode of, I think, the Justice League Unlimited cartoon or something where Superman is like fights Mongol, that Warworld guy or whatever, and voiced by Ramon's friend Eric Roberts, by the way.
Ooh,
And I'm pretty sure it was him in this episode. But yeah,
my dog.
like, they clear the civilian. The Justice League gets the civilians out of Metropolis, and Superman is like, I feel like I live in a world made of cardboard. I have to be careful with like everything I touch and He's like, what we have here is a rare opportunity for me to let loose, and he just beats the shit out of the guy. And like, I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I could just fucking eviscerate anybody with a sentence if I wanted to, and like, I have to tread lightly because sometimes my instinct is to just be like, fuck you, piece of shit, or, like
Mhm.
just break them down, like, because I can just fucking Terminator scan people, like, busted shoes, pants too tight. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to be like that. And it's a conscious
Yeah.
decision sometimes not to. And so I think
Yeah.
that's something about the character that I identify with, you know?
Yeah, I said something along those lines too. I mean, Ramon had a good point where he's like, I like the stories that people tell with them.
Yeah, what I said was when Superman was created, he wasn't a wholesome, great guy who like was standing up for like American values and stuff. He was like a socialist, radical, anti-war, pro-labor figure because he
Yeah, he's
was
going after
created.
fucking slumlords and stuff.
Yeah, he was created in like a New Deal era, and he was representative of those values. Now, he was co-opted by a corporation that kind of defanged the idea of Superman.
While also shitting on the people who created him in a anti-labor kind of way. Yeah.
So like there's an interesting sort of like meta commentary that runs throughout that character's history.
Yeah.
But there's also like that initial seed I think is so pure, and I think the idea of if you're a person who wants to see good things in the world and you know that like force and might is the only way to accomplish those, Superman initially was a way for people who wanted to see that kind of stuff happen, a way for them to express that and manifest it in their art. And the fact that it was again completely neutered and made to be like just a pro-establishment, pro-corporate character, that's irrelevant, you know? Like the power fantasy is at the heart of the character, and that sort of extends beyond all the stuff that came after it, you know? The stuff that like I'm not always the biggest fan of, but it doesn't really matter. Like at the core of it, there's something very real and pure about it, which I like a lot.
I agree. And quick plug, you did your take on that version of that character in your zine Cancel Pig. Some might say it's that character. I wouldn't. Some might say
I wouldn't say that either. That's how I was going to correct you and say that's not the same guy, it's a different guy.
Some might interpret it as the same guy, but it's different.
I'm actually spoiler. I've been working on coloring it so I could post it on social media.
Nice.
With like I wanted to get views, so I'm like, let me color it, then I'll put it on the different
Let me tell you, if you guys haven't picked up that zine on Ramones, you have it on Gumroad or something?
I have it on
Big Cartel?
Patreon.
Yeah.
It's
check
on
it
Big
out.
Cartel. You could get the physical copy, but the
digital version.
The digital one anybody can get by just subscribing to our Patreon. Low number, or like whatever it is, like $3 or whatever.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped on that when you made it, and
thanks, dude.
Yeah, as a Superman fan, like it's the kind of story I like to see the character do. Like I don't really give a shit about him doing, on alien planets or anything. Like it's, he's most interesting to me like when he's helping people in a terrestrial capacity and there's not like, a huge like conglomerate behind him. The Justice League, like the whole like.
Well, I think people like Skinner, people who don't like Superman, they don't like it because they think that there's like he's not relevant in like a world that is dark and complex. But he is, like the idea still holds true. It's just because he's owned by a corporation that wants him to be a symbol of like goodness for like a corporate world. Well, then, then he's not, it doesn't work in that context.
That is one thing I'm excited about with the new movie is I know that at least James Gunn's intent is to try to tell a story about a guy who does the right thing, even when the right thing is hard to do, or when people don't want you to do the right thing or whatever. So I'm optimistic about that part of it. It's probably not going to be for me, but at the same time, like, whatever. They'll keep churning him out till I'm in the ground. So I'm sure
watch that garbage.
Yeah, they'll probably one of them will hit for me. It's got to.
Parra says, "I like Superman because he never forgets where he comes from, no matter how far he travels. He's just still a kid from Kansas." Yeah, I like to think that's still a kid from a farm in Kansas. You know what I mean? He doesn't forget his working class roots, which is different from if his dad ran a store or something.
I listened to a book called "It's Superman," and it was like it's this like alternate 1930s. It's kind of an Elseworlds thing. It was like about Clark coming up in Kansas and then like moving to New York, and so there's no Metropolis in it. It was very much like kind of a like almost like a Fleischer cartoon prequel or something. And it was interesting. It spent a little too much time with like side characters that amounted to nothing. It would just be like go into this random criminal's backstory and then you'd never see him again. So the character as a main character kind of takes a back seat, but like it was a fun, you know, him and this dude like kind of ride the rails with the hobos and stuff of like the Depression, like you know, it's pre World War II, post World War I, and you know, there's like a black family in Smallville that the Kents are close with, and you know, so there's like race relation stuff on that level. And Jonathan Kent is seen as like a heathen because he doesn't believe in, you know, he's not like doesn't go to the church or whatever. And so there's some interesting ideas in it. But yeah, it was cool to hear a story that was like more about the version we're talking about than, you know, the full blown comic book character.
Speaking of Smallville,
Yeah.
Let's not let him off the hook.
Tom Welling, a former teen star most known for his role as Clark Kent on Smallville, looks almost unrecognizable in his new mugshot taken after he was arrested for an alleged DUI over the weekend. Oh, say it ain't so, Superman. According to the police report, reviewed by TMZ, the once teen heartthrob, now 47, was arrested in the parking lot of an Arby's.
Oh God,
yeah, dude, that's a dark sentence.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. Imagine getting turned up in an Arby's parking lot.
I guess you got to be drunk to eat there, though. You know.
Yeah.
They got the meats. I remember one time my parents brought home Arby's and we were so fucking pissed. Because
it's actually not that bad. Like, it doesn't deserve the reputation it has. It's just like it's kind of like it's so boring compared to McDonald's or something, right?
I have two Arby's experiences. One was this moment where my parents, when like it was rare that we got like fast food at all, right? Yeah. So they brought home Arby's and it was like roast beef sandwiches and we were like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, well, why didn't you just get chicken sandwiches? You know we like chicken sandwiches. Why did you bring Arby's? This is fucked up. Like, we can't eat this garbage. Like, you could have just made this sandwich. And then, like, they were so mad. They were like, okay, well, you know what? We always eat the same thing. And we wanted to try something different. And this is how you guys act. And we're like, no one asked you to try anything different. We like chicken sandwiches.
Arby's is enough to turn grateful, like non-spoiled children into like absolute monsters. Like,
we were like, the dollar menu at McDonald's is fine. Just get that.
What's also fun about
like
it
these cost. Like, we were like, these sandwiches cost $2.50. Are you out of your mind?
You could have got 2.5 chicken sandwiches for that. It's like you wanted a fucking G.I. Joe and they brought you like Action Man, you know.
but if it Action Man cost more,
yeah, and was like not as good.
Yeah. I always remember that because we were like, normally we were like just so happy for whatever like, you know, garbage they'd bring home from like, you know, either McDonald's or if we were really lucky, Carl's Jr. That was the go-to one. But that day we were just like, this is why would you do this to us? Like, so this is dinner. So this is it? Fuck. And then the other time was, I was like, years later, I was like, you know, maybe I was wrong about Arby's. Like, let me go back and like try a turkey sandwich there because I don't eat red meat. So I got a turkey sandwich and it was like hot and it was like, had this fucking disgusting like Dijon mustard on it. It was a bad sandwich. And I'm like, it could be my fault for ordering it. I should have maybe ordered anything else. And I've thought about going back since because every once in a while they'll put up some new shit like a fish sandwich. I'm like, maybe, but I haven't, you know.
They used to have a chicken salad wrap that was pretty good. Like it was like, you know, it had grapes and like walnuts in it, and it was like, you know, back when I ate meat. They didn't have it for a long time, but I remember being like, okay, this was actually pretty good.
Colin says Kryptonians should be allowed a higher legal BAC.
Well, Kryptonians, they have a higher threshold for alcohol.
They had a superhuman blood alcohol level going on.
I'd have to read the article again. It was a while ago, but fucking piece of shit.
It said shortly after midnight on Sunday, January 26th, where law enforcement officers believed him to be driving under the influence. According to their records, his blood alcohol level was allegedly recorded at or above 0.08%, which is the legal limit in most states for drivers over 21 years old. So they got him like just barely. They're like,
so he had like a beer and a half or something.
Yeah.
That's
is that
crazy.
wait? Are we saying that's kind of fucked up? You think they did it to get clout? They arrested this man because that one like Hooters waitress was at like 0.2 or whatever. She was like way over.
Yeah,
and like he was just like a little buzzed, and they were like, "Nuh-uh."
Yeah, that's like if you went to out to eat and you had like 2 glasses of wine. That's what that would be. Like if they pulled you over going home.
Lex Luthor, I think, was the one who tipped it off. In the actor's mugshot published by TMZ, Welling's short, salt and pepper hair is a far cry from the shaggy, dark locks he was rocking while he was starring in the Superman origin story on what would later become the CW. While his tight-lipped frown makes it hard to even picture the slightly crooked smile that once sent teenagers' hearts racing. You may also recognize him from his work in Cheaper by the Dozen film series, the 2005 remake of The Fog, or Lucifer, among others. Most recently, he starred in the film Mafia Wars alongside Twilight's Gigandent. I love how they're like, he still works. It's just, you're never going to see any of this stuff.
That article's doing some nasty work on him, the opening description of him. Like, he looks fine for a man of his age. He looks healthy. He just got arrested, so he's probably not in a good mood about it. Like,
yeah, I think he looks like what I see. If I saw this man, would I know that it's Tom Welling? Probably not. If I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't notice. But if I talk to him a little bit, I'm like, wait a minute, you seem familiar. Are you the guy from that show I never watched?
You have a kind of slightly crooked smile that's like indicative of like a teen heartthrob. I feel like I know it from somewhere.
Were you in Roswell?
Oh my God. Cheaper by the dozen too, even cheaper. I fucking knew it was him.
Wait a minute, dude. The Fog 2005, the remake of the 70s movie? That's sick.
Low key better than the original.
Oh wow, I didn't.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not. I watched it recently. It's bad.
Today, he also shares 2 children with his wife, Jessica Rose Lee, who happened to celebrate her birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday to our angel, who makes our dreams come true and inspires us even more, he wrote on Instagram, alongside several photos of his love. We love you to the moon and back. Parade reached out to Welling's representatives for comment. They didn't get back to him.
I wonder why.
This article has 383 comments on it. Yahoo is so popping, dude.
Yahoo still got it going on. It's nuts.
Wait, was he arrested on his wife's birthday? Is that why or was they just saying that it was like?
I think they're just adding some color to it. Like the man is completely in hell. Like he still has a wife. This person says, same media that talks about youth anxiety and mental health crisis in our culture puts up this cruel headline: aging is natural and expected. He's recognizable. Leave that guy alone.
This person, you said he's barely recognizable.
There's a bunch of people that are like, he's in his 40s. What the fuck? Like, why are you saying? Yeah, almost recognizable is insane. He looks like slightly bloated. Like maybe he ate some Arby's and was a little wasted.
That's just what he looks like now. Like I've seen. Yeah, like he's not fucking 25 anymore. You know.
Yeah. He's probably he gets.
He's unrecognizable.
Right? That shit went into syndication, didn't it?
Oh, I think he's got it. I would imagine. That's probably why he's not working much, you know?
Yeah, he don't have to.
So this story is going to be a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it because it's from Business Insider, and it says, I drive a Cybertruck, and I'm sick of people flipping me off. I wish they understood how helpful this car is for me. So I didn't pre-read this, as you know, I don't do that for the show. But
Nah.
coincidentally, this YouTuber who I follow, he reacted to this article, so I heard bits of it. So I'm a little familiar with what she's about to talk about. This is from Dr. Angela Kenslau. She says, I'm a psychologist who drives long distances to see patients in towns throughout Arizona. When I arrive and step out of my Tesla Cybertruck, I don't have fatigue that typically comes with driving for hours. On the days I travel, I often have a full schedule of Social Security disability psychological assessments to conduct. It's mentally exhausting work that demands focus and compassion. I credit my Cybertruck, affectionately nicknamed Brick House, for helping me arrive for the day without feeling drained. But the general public thinks my truck is a political statement and not something that helps me. Yeah, I wonder why that would be. Why would they? Would it be because the guy who owns the company and like is constantly shilling these things is just did a Nazi salute?
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Can't figure it out now.
It says, I first turned to Tesla because I needed a car with self-driving features. My road to driving the Cybertruck began in 2012 when I was a doctoral student commuting weekly from Phoenix to Tucson, Arizona for an advanced practicum clinical training. Those drives up and down Interstate 10 were brutal. Sometimes I'd have to pull over and take a quick nap to finish the drive safely. But I would still arrive home exhausted. During those drives, I often thought about my favorite childhood cartoon, The Jetsons, and how their cars drove themselves. That was the future I dreamt of. I wanted my car to drive me. In early 2013, I heard about Tesla and its promise for full self-driving. I immediately vowed not to buy another car until I had a Tesla. In 2021, I could finally lease a Model 3 long range with full self-driving, which I affectionately named Milady. I hate this person, by the way.
Yeah, insufferable already. Go ahead.
Yeah, I flick them off just for who they are as a person, much less their car.
Yeah, if I didn't know you had a car, I'd still flip you off. You know, the fact that you happen to drive a Nazi mobile, it just makes it easier to spot you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Lady.
in some fairness to people who ordered one, he wasn't out here doing Nazi salutes when they got on the pre-order list, probably like the early models, you know. But I think it was known at that point that he was a piece of shit. I mean, and it was kind of the joke. The car also became like a joke because when he did the rollout thing and he was like, it was a real Ray J, the glasses won't break moment. He was like, go ahead, hit the window. It won't break. And then the window fucking broke. And they're like, it won't do that when it comes out. And then it just had nothing but problems. Like to the point where like, if it rained on these trucks, some of them were shutting down. I saw online. Or like the gas pedal cover would come, it would slide off and wedge itself against something, and the fucking accelerator would be pressed down. Like
it was crazy.
And also, nobody needs a fucking self-driving car. That's insane. It's so unsafe. Like I don't give a shit what kind of features they put in it. There's never going to be a world where that's a good idea. Like unless all cars are on a track and they're all like operating in some kind of tandem with each other and sending a signal back and forth.
And you know, we have a thing that's like that. It's called a subway or like
a train. Or a bus.
Yeah.
Public transportation. There's that.
What's funny what you're saying is like you're 100% right though about like if she would have got this before like Elon Musk bought like Twitter, because as soon as he bought Twitter, it was like we all knew what he was about, and this thing didn't come out until after that. So
the pre-orders were like a few years before that, I think. Like it was like a long wait list.
Sure, but you know, actually, I was reading a lot of news. I was reading a news article today about how a lot of people are not picking up their Tesla Cybertrucks. So a lot of like these fulfillment centers. They're not called like dealerships. They're called like what, because they bypass the dealership model. There's just a ton of them, like unsold inventory out now, because people are like, yeah, just keep my $2,500 that I put like down on it. Like I'd rather you just take that than me not have to drive around this fucking car.
Yeah.
But it's like it's happening a lot. like
That's
I
crazy.
saw this one guy talking about it, and he was like in Charlotte, I think North Carolina. He showed like this thing, and it was just full of Tesla unsold Cybertrucks of people that would have been like, never mind, I changed my mind, I don't want it.
That's wild.
And like I guess the way the deal worked was like they just had to pay $2,500 to be on the list, you know. So the car comes, and they're like, okay, great news, come pick up your car, and they're just like, pass.
It was a non-refundable deposit. It wasn't like a you signed a contract then.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And they're just saying, keep the money. I don't give a fuck. I don't want the car. It's hilarious. And it's like it's not just one place. It's happening all over the place.
Yeah. Well, who would want it after all the problems it's had? You know, like I saw this really funny post about it. It like took a bunch of photos of Cybertrucks on the back of like car carrier trucks, like in tow truck flatbeds and stuff. And it was like talking about them in like a David Attenborough, or I think it was a video, and it was like it had like a David Attenborough style narration, and it was talking about the symbiotic relationship between the Cybertruck and the tow truck, as if it were like one of those little feeder fish on the back of a shark or something.
Yeah.
It was really good.
So this person continues. Over the next 3 years, Milady and I drove more than 35,000 miles, crisscrossing Arizona and conducting psychological examinations in rural towns.
Also,
Milady,
sorry, real quick, you don't need a fucking truck for that job. You're fine with your Model 3 or whatever it was, right?
Get a Prius.
Right. And if
Like,
you
yeah.
had a Model 3, well, Priuses aren't self-driving. But
Well,
yeah.
no, I know, but that self-driving car, I wouldn't even. I discount that altogether.
If you had a Model 3, people would be like, oh, they must have got it before we knew.
Right. Nobody gets shit. I don't think anymore. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't hear anybody.
Nobody gets shit for a normal Tesla.
Giving
It's
shit.
just
Yeah, I see 5 of them every time I leave my house.
It's crazy how many Teslas there are on the road now.
Yeah.
And at one point, it's crazy because that used to be like a flex to have one, but then also like, oh, that's good because it's just an electric car. You know, like I would look at it and be like, that's cool. But I see a Cybertruck, I think, what a dickhead.
Yeah, I think because the Teslas are nice looking cars, and the Cybertruck is just like ugly. It doesn't look like anything on the road. It's like when somebody buys a plot of land in like a normal neighborhood, and they build like a really crazy, wacky design house, and everybody just hates it. Yeah, kind of like that little. But that was at least like looks like a relatively.
That was a neat house.
Construction. Yeah, like
it was a neat house. It just pissed everybody off.
Yeah.
It says, Milady became more than a car. It was a lifeline that kept me safe on Arizona's back roads and highways. Interestingly, I never experienced any backlash when driving the Model 3. Yeah, no wonder. In 2024, a few months after my Model 3 lease ended, I knew I wanted to purchase my next car. Since the vehicle is technically for my business, I needed to be big enough for a specific tax code. The Cybertruck was the only one that fit the bill. I feel like this is just justification on top of justification for buying the Nazi mobile.
It's also not the only electric truck out there. There's the Rivian, which is like gets I think pretty good reviews, and like Amazon's fleet of electric vans is Rivian. Like, it's just another, and it looks like an actual truck. Like it's like a normal looking, you know.
I just like how she's like, I need to be big enough for a specific tax code.
Yeah, like I get that, game the system, but it's also like you're not a victim here.
These right.
You made, you know.
Yeah.
My long-awaited Cybertruck reservation eventually came through, but then I hesitated to upgrade to a Cybertruck because of all the controversy surrounding the Tesla, the Cybertruck specifically, and Elon Musk. I'd already bought a different vehicle with driver assist, but it didn't compare to Tesla's full self-driving. The exhaustion I felt after driving for hours in the other vehicles, seeing patients, and writing reports was extreme. A health scare landed me in the ER and reminded me how critical it is to minimize stress. Tesla's full self... I just think maybe she shouldn't be giving the psychological evaluations.
Yeah, she might
need of a psychological evaluation.
Yeah.
She's really letting, like, she's making the truck do a lot of heavy lifting here. Like,
and it's not capable of that. We know that.
Yeah.
Not rigorous enough for that.
Well, I don't think. I mean, I can't speak for this person, obviously, but it seems specious to me, the idea that it would just like relieve her mental health that much to drive this car,
right.
You know.
I left the hospital, went to my credit union, picked up my check for the Cybertruck, drove directly to FedEx. Did she drive or did her car drive? I drove directly to FedEx and overnighted the check to Tesla. 2 days later, I was picking up my Cybertruck. So wait a minute. After 1 day of driving a non-fully self-driving car, she was like so stressed out that she fucking
Can't
bought
do
a
it.
Cybertruck.
Had to go to the hospital.
That's psychotic, dude.
sustainable.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I don't mean to be ableist. I don't mean to, you know, disparage people with mental health issues or, you know, differently abled people or whatever. That's great. She needs to go on a walk.
I was about to say, fuck those SSRIs. You got to get a fucking Tesla Cybertruck, dude.
She needs to
That's
get
the
on a
only
walk,
way.
dude. Nah, dude.
You think she's out here doing with her mental health work and evaluations? You think she's out here like saying like patient would benefit from having self-driving vehicle? Too much stress in their life.
You know what's crazy is like the only time I do genuinely feel like I get anxious and annoyed with people in a real way is when I'm driving. But like I don't drive that much. I don't need to. I'm not like
if you had a self-driving vehicle, you wouldn't need to drive at all. And
I might get more mad. I honestly,
dude, honestly, let's talk about the adverse mental health effect it would have on any of us driving and seeing this bitch fucking conk out behind the wheel of her Cybertruck. I would be scared for my life, dude. What are we talking about? That's crazy.
When I went to the store the other day, and like if you go at like a certain time of day and everybody is just out on the road, you're more likely to deal with fucking idiots that are driving like idiots, right?
Yeah.
So like the whole time I'm going like, what the fuck? Hurry the fuck up. Like park or like go somewhere, like do something. Don't just like be halfway in the middle of this road right now. Yeah. And I get so anxious when it's going to take me like, it's going to cost me like 15 seconds extra. But when I'm walking, I don't care if I'll take an extra 15 minutes to get somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's just such a weird thing, like with the brain of like how you manage time when like behind the wheel of a car, I get so stressed out and like irritated, not enough to need a full self-driving car. I think that's absurd. But I just noticed like, I have to like take a deep breath and be like, why am I so worked up right now? I wouldn't be this mad if I just walked to the same store, which is what I normally do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it's not the time aspect. It's the fact that like we're all in these like 2-ton fucking metal monstrosities and like hurtling through time and space, and all these absolutely stupid people who are like, I'm surprised they could find their front door every day to leave their fucking like are in a car that is like could kill you at any second, and the only thing keeping us all like in line and in the lanes and
the little white line.
What's that?
The little white line.
Yeah, just like and just like some general sense of like this is what you're supposed to do. That's it. So
right.
That's what stresses me out. And then when these people like, dude, every time I leave my home now in a car, I see at least one person every trip run a red light.
Yeah.
Every time. And that's to and from both times, right? Like it's just the way people are now. And yeah, it's like going to a movie and people are talking now more than they used to. They got their phones out. They're fucking, you know, treating it like their living room and stuff. I think we're just sort of in this like general decline of like overall consideration and manners and stuff like that, and it extends to driving too, and it's scary, you know.
Yeah, well, everyone's attention's diverted too. They're on their phones, they're on whatever. So
yes.
I've driven a car, like I think I've driven a vehicle once in the last 12 years, and my life, like that stress has been completely gone out of my life, you know, in that time. And because I grew up in South Florida, and driving through Miami is like you have to be held in the swivel all the time just because
it's
people
like
are running like it really yeah. That was a documentary.
The Phil Collins.
So like coming out here, it's like even just walking around though, I almost get hit being a pedestrian, you know, once a week just walking around if I'm not careful, because people just flying through lights, not obeying the signals, and
dude, the number of people I see like this while they're driving Or like somebody was like watching videos. They have like, or somebody I think commented on one of my videos recently. Oh man, I was watching this while I was driving, and I was like, what?
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, thanks for watching, but don't.
Yeah. Wait till you get home, dude.
The one time one time when a car hit me, there's another time where like was like in a bender with somebody who cut me off. But the one time when somebody in a car hit me was this woman who was in like this old ass Honda Civic that like it disintegrated into my car. It was so fucked looking. And she was playing Pokemon Go. And I know that because her husband was yelling at her. Like, because he showed up after the fact. We had to like get a police report. And he was like, "Were you playing Pokemon Go?" And she was like, "No, I told you I wasn't." And he was like, "I know you were."
You know, that happens all the fucking time.
Imagine like you end up in the hospital or like with a broken arm or something.
He was trying to catch a Pikachu.
Yeah, they had to catch them all.
Yeah.
And now you had to catch a hospital bill.
Yeah.
She wouldn't have had that problem if she had self-driving, but she had a Honda Civic, not a Cybertruck.
That's true. You know what? You just convinced me.
Unfortunately, the Cybertruck draws a lot of attention. The reactions I get when driving the Cybertruck have been surprising. It's fun to see kids wave and snap pictures of my quirky-looking stainless steel ride. Most aren't shy about it. Some ask whether it's okay. Others will walk up, pose, and take pictures or videos. The innocent responses are truly heartwarming. What's heartbreaking, though, is the way many adults respond. I've been flipped off, mean-mugged, and given many thumbs down. Dude, that's so sick to give someone a thumbs down. I wouldn't even think to do that if I was just like...
They're at a stoplight.
Boo! I've experienced being shouted at in traffic and others aggressively merging in front of me. A close friend even refused to ride in my Cybertruck, sharing his disdain for Tesla's CEO. I think it was probably also a little bit of like, oh, I would love to hang out and go on this trip with you, but I just hate Elon Musk so much.
Yeah.
I would love to. It's just Elon. I hate Elon.
Elon, yeah.
Otherwise, we'd hang out.
Yeah.
With the added controversy since the 2025 inauguration and Musk's actions, which action would that be again? I can't. What did he do? I'm concerned. I'm concerned people will become aggressive with their actions towards my Cybertruck and become physical versus just mean mugging and flipping me off. It's like driving a Cybertruck makes me a target for adults' opinions about Musk. To be clear, I bought the truck before he became a polarizing political figure. Impossible. That's an impossible thing to say. Yeah. You can't say that. You could say you bought the Tesla before that, maybe.
You know when he first became like truly problematic, I think, was when he said that shit about in Chile with the miners and the called the guy a pedophile.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I've hated him for so long that I hated him before that.
Yeah. I think what she means is she bought it before she knew he was a political polarizing
That's
figure.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That sounds like someone who's not on Twitter also. Like I would imagine she's just
because she's out here sleeping on the road. She, like use that time to scroll on your phone and learn some stuff, I guess.
It says to be clear, I bought the truck before he became a polarizing political figure. I cannot ignore Musk's behavior, and yet I can't take the money that I've already spent on buying the Cybertruck. I cannot take back the money. Tesla's Cybertruck keeps me safe. My Cybertruck isn't a luxury or trying to look cool, clearly. Driving my Cybertruck is about functionality and safety. Arizona's 2-lane highways with fatigued drivers and narrow roads can be dangerous. Yeah, but it being a self-driving car doesn't change the fact that somebody could swerve and hit you, though.
Yeah.
That's not like you. If you're safe, it doesn't matter if you're driving or the car is driving. You wouldn't get hit unless the other person.
She's driving in a truck made of cardboard. That like.
Right. It's not made out of cardboard. It's made out of like sharp angles that have like proven to be like more dangerous to the people driving it.
Yeah.
Well, also like. I don't know what about that vehicle would make it safer. I mean, you know, the idea, I guess, that a car that's bigger is safer, there's something there to it. But like, you know, cars have to meet like rigorous safety standards, or at least they used to. I'm sure Trump will go, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Make whatever you want. But like, so, you know, I mean, for a long time, one of the absolute safest cars on the road was that second gen Volkswagen Bug that we were talking about from like the mid 90s, like the 97 through 2000 or something. Like it was one of the safest cars on the road, and it's one of the smallest, most weird looking cars. So like, just because you're in a big truck doesn't mean it's like, you know.
Yeah, because some of them, I don't know about Cybertrucks, but some of those flip easy. So it's like, okay, you're a bigger truck, but then if you get hit on the side, you're going to go over. So
right, and that also is like could still be more dangerous to other people, right?
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're fucking asleep and letting the computer do the talking or the walking for you. You know,
Yeah.
This is, she's full of just hot air stuff. She just wants to justify this thing to herself, and she's mad that people think it sucks. Like, sorry, your car sucks. Make better decisions.
The thing is, like, the car sucks and she sucks. So even if she didn't have this car, she'd still be annoying.
Right.
Tesla's Cybertruck technology keeps me safe. Monitors keeps me centered, monitors for hazards, and reduces the mental toll of long drives. I'm not financially able to sell or trade the truck to avoid all the troubles. It's simply not feasible. When it's time for me to purchase another vehicle, I'm sure other auto manufacturers will have full self-driving, and I'll be able to point my dollars towards a more affirming brand. But right now, I'm leaning into the positives of my Cybertruck. Well,
which are
the positive so far is that she can like sleep while she's driving it, I guess.
She doesn't eat shit, lady.
In other news,
they're gonna find her drunk in an Arby's parking lot. Just so sad about this purchase.
In other future car news, crowd shatters windows and rips doors off of an empty Waymo cab stopped in LA. You familiar with what Waymo cabs are?
Is it like a driverless cab? Are they Teslas?
No, they're I don't know. I don't know what kind of car it is. It says self-driving taxi companies are slowly taking over the streets of cities like San Francisco, LA, and Phoenix, where they can often be found driving in circles, blocking first responders, and occasionally giving people lifts around town. The presence of these cars on the streets has irked some residents, and now a group of LA has attacked an empty Waymo self-driving taxi, ripping off its door and smashing its windows. The group of vandals attacked the Waymo cab outside the Beverly Center in LA on Saturday, reports the LA Times. The cab was reportedly stopped at a red light when a group of people surrounding it and began kicking it, hitting it, and jumping all over the car. Nobody was in a vehicle at the time, the LA Times adds. Waymo spokeswoman Juliana Elena said the company was working closely with officials investigating the incident. While these sorts of events are rare, we take them extremely seriously and remain committed to improving road safety and mobility in the cities where we operate, she said in a statement. The video posted online shows a man kicking the side of a white Jaguar while another man in a ski mask stood on his roof.
It was a Jaguar. Come on. Come on. That's another like, dude, that's the thing about a lot of like, similar with the Tesla, the Cybertruck too. It's like, it's a class thing. Like you see this fucking thing and you're like, look at this fucking asshole, you know, because you know the thing is expensive and it's like it's an unnecessary like luxury purchase in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like who needs a fucking Jag as a like it just, I guess what it is it sort of adds insult to injury, you know?
Yeah.
When like a first responder is being blocked by like a $75,000 car, like
driving Jaguar.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, you know.
It says the attack mirrors a similar incident in San Francisco last year, which saw a group vandalize and set another autonomous taxi on fire in the Californian city. In Texas, test cars for autonomous vehicle startups have also been targeted, showing that tensions between regular people and autonomous vehicles are rising. The attacks put autonomous vehicle makers in a sticky situation as questions are asked about how the car should respond to such incidents.
It's like the war with the robots has started, you know?
It's so awesome. People are just like jumping these fucking cars and like breaking them down because they're like, I hate the energy of it. Me and my friends saw it and we beat it with sticks.
Get out of here, Roby. Fucking.
If a regular car with a human driver were in such a situation, they would likely drive away as the best form of affirmative defense, as Forbes puts it. Autonomous cars don't do that, and instead stop in their tracks when incidents arise. Which is awesome.
They're getting beat up.
Yeah, just like as soon as it gets hit, it just rolls over and like gives up its belly.
Pops the gas tank open and like a little stream comes out.
Squirt.
So I got good news. There's video of this incident here.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, here we go. Look at him.
Hell yeah.
Where did that guy even get that board?
Led to the destruction of a Waymo self-driving car. LAPD officers responded to the scene at La Cienega.
Car down.
3:30 early Saturday morning. Police say there were about 50 people, including roughly 100 juveniles. No injuries were reported and no arrests were made.
Look at that car.
And Waymo said they condemn any form of vandalism to property.
He's just like fucked it up so bad.
They
went
the
Street Fighter 2 mode
off,
on this fucking car, dude.
They ripped the door off. You know how hard that could be to do? Like I mean, like
that's awesome.
Without having like a impact wrench or something. That's wild.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Just like when they have those robots that they send over the country. This robot's going across the country by itself. Like, I got to Philadelphia and it just got like.
Dude, yesterday it was a nice day here, and
they used one of these scooters on it. By the way, did you see that?
That's awesome. Is that that's the door on the hood. Yesterday was really nice here, and so I took the opportunity to like do kind of a deep clean on my car, which I've been meaning to do. Like I got in like the door wells and window wells and like the trunk lining and stuff, and I was like because I park under a tree a lot of times, and so there's all this shit gets on my car. So I was like wiping in like the sort of cavity where the door opens from, and I remember thinking like, damn, it'd be hard to get this door off. And like this group of fucking hooligans that's wild.
They just went Street Fighter 2 mode on it. They just wanted to bust it up, dude.
So, because it said over 100 juveniles, right?
100?
So
was that
didn't it say that?
It looks like 20. I like how nonchalant they are about it.
Yeah.
Like they're not even that mad. They're just like, fuck this car.
Yeah.
A street takeover over the weekend in Beverly Grove.
In the article.
I'll go back and check.
Destruction of a Waymo self-driving car. LAPD officers responded to the scene at 3rd and La Cienega Boulevard just after 3:30 early Saturday morning. Police say there were about 50 people gathered, including roughly 100 juveniles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. 100 juveniles.
100 juveniles?
They said roughly 50 people gathered, including 100 juveniles? How does that work?
Maybe he meant 10 and he misread or something. Either way, like 50 people.
Maybe.
Like, was there like a concert getting out or something? Like, what would cause that many people to be in one spot and they all just decided like?
It said during street takeover. What was this?
They're hanging out.
Just like, was the car just wrong car, wrong place, wrong time for the car? Was it just like driving through the street takeover?
The street.
No injuries were reported and no arrests were made.
No injuries were reported. No shit. They beat up a fucking robot.
You know what? Maybe that car did something to deserve that. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's so sad.
Yeah. Well, yeah. White ass car. Probably some raises.
Yeah. Exactly. You don't know what that car was saying.
That's wild though. That like
David Waymo said they condemn any.
There's hope for the future.
That many people were in one spot and happened to see that thing and were like, "You in the wrong place, cuz." That's awesome.
Yeah. That is awesome.
I like that Waymo was like, we condemn this. Yeah, you would condemn it. It's your car, idiot.
We don't support this destruction of our property.
It's wild too to think that the cops show up when nobody was injured. Like, I know that's like technically a crime being committed, but it's just funny to think that, like, if there's no person involved, like, why are you here? You know, like,
yeah. You know, they got there quicker than if it was a person getting the shit.
Yeah. Well, you know, their whole thing is like protecting property over people most of the time, anyway. But I just think that's wild.
This says, autonomous cars don't do that. Instead, stop in their tracks when incidents arise. In the recent incident in the AV, has almost no choice but to put up with the vandalism. If an injury had occurred on retreat, it could result in great harm to the industry and strain public approval, given that this was protection of property, not life, in this particular instance. As such, the site calls for better legal framework to protect autonomous vehicles from the attacks. On the streets they patrol, measures such as sharing footage from cars with law enforcement, bans on people caught vandalizing such cars, and even increased police presence in AV testing sites have all been floated by Forbes. There are also calls for tougher penalties for anyone caught attacking AVs. As it stands, the state of California takes a varying approach to punishing the vandalism, depending on the severity of the actions. If the damage is valued at less than $400, it's a misdemeanor. Above that figure, it's considered a felony. With the cost of a new windshield for an I-Pace sits around $1,200, meaning the group responsible for the latest act could be facing tough penalties.
But
I say
they can still be president, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, allegedly.
We were talking about we were talking a little bit about earlier the decline of Western civilization. I have another story that speaks to that fact. Carnival scolds cruise passengers for this prohibited balcony activity, and it's not sex. Quote, it simply looks bad. You guys want to guess? You know what Carnival cruise is? It's like a cruise liner.
Cruise liner.
You guys want to guess what people are doing that has them upset? It's not sex. That's the only clue that you have.
It's got something involving selfies or something. Something like social media related.
Yeah, like, or maybe like yoga or something, because they're worried about like insurance, you know, like claims of people injuring themselves. I don't know.
Fishing off of the boat?
Fishing off the boat? You're getting closer. Carnival Cruise Line is hanging its passengers out to dry. Naughty activities like smoking, naughty spelled like N-A-U-T-I. They're doing something here.
Mm-hmm.
Naughty activities like smoking and having sex are openly disapproved of, but a representative for the cruise line is reminding guests that a more mundane act is also strictly prohibited. Carnival ambassador John Heald issued a statement that was shared by Facebook personality Jason Judson, reminding cruisegoers that hanging laundry out to dry on the balcony is not allowed.
Wow. Can't dry my beach towel off on the balcony, huh?
Yeah, what's up with that? Don't they have washers and dryers on the boat? Don't they have that?
They probably want customers to pay to use the laundry facilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It says Carnival Cruise Line has issued warning to passengers that hanging a clothesline to dry your clothes isn't permitted on your balcony, as 2 pictures were sent to John Heald, the brand ambassador for Carnival Cruise Line. Judson narrated over the video. John said the cabin attendants will remove them due to environmental concerns and that it simply looks bad. He added that Carnival does provide self-serve washers and dryers for passengers to use, and there are places inside the cabin to hang dry clothes as well. The warning is echoed on Carnival's website, which states, for safety concerns, clothing and towels should not be hung to dry out on your balcony. Photos from 2 ships have recently circulated showing clotheslines with items such as t-shirts and underwear across balconies hanging to dry. In response to someone asking about the issue, and if you can dry clothes on the balcony, Heald wrote on Facebook, no, this is absolutely not allowed for very, very important safety reasons. And I know that once the cabin attendants come to the cabin that morning, they will be removed. By the way, look at this cretin, John Heald.
I wonder what the safety reasons are.
I think it's bullshit. I just don't think they like the way it looks.
I think so too, because I don't think that they're concerned about
Oh,
Imagine this man telling me I can't dry my clothes. Well, maybe you can't.
Him
dude.
hanging by the railing looks like a big jacket hanging out to dry.
fucking
Yeah,
penguins out here telling you what to do on a cruise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's yeah. I feel like they're just trying to get people to use the fucking because
Yeah.
like this is something about environmental concerns. Like, oh, your fucking cruise ship is worried about pollution.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's probably like someone had their swimming
hotels
trunks.
landing.
Someone like had one set pair of swimming trunks and they just washed them in their sink and they just hung them outside so they dry. You know, and it's like, all right, you can't do that. And now it becomes like this huge
Yeah.
fucking.
My theory is they think that it's much like it's low class. It's like why you have like what is it called, HOAs, you know,
Mhm.
that are like, oh, your grass is like an inch, like a half an inch too long, you need to cut that, you know. It's devaluing the look of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think that when they send their gigantic fucking ships out, they want people to think of like this is a fantasy. It's like an old fucking, you know, movie
Yeah.
where like there's a lot of classy people on this boat.
The
But most
Streamliner
people-
hosts a whopping 5,000 people. Come explore the seas. One of those things. That fucking look at it, John.
the thing is,
You know-
like last year during we have in our group chat, we have a thing called Water Week where we watch movies about that are set in the water. And last year I went on this whole run of watching movies about people who go on like from like the 40s and 50s of people that would go on cruise ships. And it was just like a different era of like when people would go on cruise ships back in the day, it would be like you go and you wear your nicest fucking clothes. But you would go because they didn't have airplanes. So like you're going on this cruise to go to England or to go to a place that you're going to visit, not just to go and get drunk for a few days, which is what people do now. You know, it's not about like going on a boat is not like
it wasn't
we're
the
gonna-
destination.
yeah, it is the destination. And so like
Yeah.
most people that go on it are just people that are like, well, I could either go on this cruise ship or I could take a vacation to, you know, I don't know, like Atlantic City or whatever. So like, yeah, they're just gonna go on this cruise ship where they can get wasted on this fucking boat. Like my parents did that I think once, and they were like they really liked it. And they went and like Jewel was performing, and they just went and saw Jewel like 5 times on that boat. Then my mom was like, Jewel is so good live.
Who
We saw
will
her.
hang your clothes?
But when you,
You know
get
what?
people that are like middle class and don't give a shit about like high society, yeah, they're gonna do things like hang their fucking clothes because like
Well,
why
yeah.
not?
The other thing is you're living in this room for like 5 days, 7 days, whatever.
They're not
and,
big
like,
rooms.
No, and there's
Yeah.
only so much like autonomy you have. It's not like on a hotel stay where you can like, okay, well, let's go somewhere. You can walk, you get out of the room, you can like, you know, you have resources, there's stores. If you shit your pants, you can go underwear or whatever. Like on a cruise ship, you're stuck. You know, I mean, obviously they go into port in a few places, but like, yeah, it's just a different thing. That's crazy to like, you know, treat it like, no, you have to do XYZ while you're here. I mean,
Yeah.
I get that they don't want it looking like a shanty town on the water, but like, come on, you know.
You know what?
It is.
I
Though.
stand
That
by.
is literally what it is.
I stand by Carnival Cruise Lines and the Ayrton family, and whatever they say.
Oh, is
go.
that the same people?
Yeah.
These freaks.
Who's that?
They own Tony's
The Miami Heat.
basketball team.
The Miami.
The Harrison family, they own Carnival Cruise Lines.
Wow, Tony's a sellout.
I've never been on an overnight cruise. I did go on like a nighttime cruise, like a gambling cruise one time with this bar, you know, with these people. This bar I worked at, we went on like a group cruise, like all the employees, and it was fun.
Booze cruise.
A little booze cruise, but you know, you go so far out so you can gamble legally, like outside of.
What about Cut of the Ocean?
And that was fun, but I can't imagine wanting to be out there for like weeks or a week, you know, with like strangers stuck out there on the boat. I'll get claustrophobic and bored.
Speaking
yeah, you
of
know me, if a location scenery doesn't change,
Yeah, you go nuts.
yeah.
Speaking of gambling, going back to a thing that we talked about on this show, like when I think our first episode,
Mhm.
This thing says sports betting apps are getting a new generation hooked on gambling, critics say. Dude, I love when I'm so right about something and then I'm only proven to be more right as time goes on.
By a Yahoo News article backing you up.
Well, this is hold on a second.
Hey, you know what?
this
Ramon was the
from
first
Yahoo.
one to say gambling was addicting. You know, he's really going
No,
on a limb there.
No, but I was
Pointing
saying
that
I was saying that it was disturbing how much gambling culture had taken over sports media.
Right.
Yeah.
Really early, I was on that trend. This thing says, as nearly half of America prepares to gather to eat pizza and chicken wings and watch the Super Bowl featuring the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, millions will place bets on the game using apps from companies like FanDuel, DraftKings, and ESPN Bet. While the legal betting age on apps varies between 18 and 21 years old in 38 states that have legalized them since 2018, many underage fans will attempt to skirt age verification requirements by providing fake identification or an older family member's financial information.
Skirt.
Imagine you get fucked for gambling and you didn't even do it. It was like your nephew.
It's like your nephew, your brother's kid racking up all those Fortnite charges or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing is I think about my nephew and him like getting a crazy dumb parlay going and just like he fucked me, you know?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's almost like a hobby now. You bet on sports.
Sorry, I was gonna say my friend, his son is like 21 now, I think 20, and he's like I was talking to him. I was like, so what's his deal? What's he up to these days? And he's like, man, he thinks he's gonna get rich off of cryptocurrency. Like he doesn't want to work. He just thinks he can be a crypto trader and make money, And it sounds like a very similar thing where there's all these little avenues now, and you bet on this, you can trade that because cryptocurrency is essentially just gambling,
Right. You used to do it though, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of it, or not the very beginning, but when before we knew how environmentally fucking
I remember you, Nick, and Justin had the crazy portals when you were telling me about it. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I think that's bad for the environment. And you guys were like, you're wrong. You're crazy. You're not early on.
Yeah. Did you is that a transcript you're reading or what?
I think what happened was, I was way too broke, and I was like, this seems weird. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Well, this was
but I remember you guys talking about it a bunch back in the day, and I would just zone out.
Yeah, and I had this friend who was really, really just dude, this is he's really a futurist kind of guy, and he was just this has actual what's the word, basically he was espousing the value of it and how it has actual practical this and that. Imagine a decentralized global network where fucking anyone can pay anybody, and there's no exchange rates, and it's just we're all one thing, and so that part of it appealed to me, and it seemed like a smart thing to get in on the ground floor of kind of thing. And then eventually you realize it was just a bunch of hucksters. And I'm sure there's some legitimacy to some of it, or at least that was the point in the beginning. But I think now it's just turned into a bunch of really annoying people and just terrible for the environment.
I remember I did a con in San Jose in 2012 or maybe 2013. So pretty early, and the con was in San Jose at the convention center, but it was one of those big convention centers with many conventions going on at the same place. So next to the con was a cryptocurrency con where they were doing Bitcoin. They were talking about Bitcoin. Anyways, I was in line to get into the show, and these guys were there, and they were like, "Oh, you guys ever heard of Bitcoin?" And we're like, "Nah, what's that?" It was really early on, and they were telling us how you could get into it on the ground floor, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, guys, sounds fun. I think I'm going to keep my $40. Thanks very much. But I think what if I was hell yeah, let me get in on this,
I think there are maybe a handful of those currencies that are actually doing anything for anybody, and the rest has just been this musical chairs of everybody buying and selling the same, so
how people have get rich quick schemes that they get real hyped up on? I feel like everyone to me sounds like a get broke scheme where it's
yeah.
I am so unlucky that I'm if I even try, the thing will collapse and I'll lose all my money.
Yeah, I'm always the guy who's like a day late and a dollar short to that kind of shit anyway, you know. And like that, my friend who was like really on about it was the first and only person to explain it in a way that didn't just seem like, no, dude, you're gonna make a lot of money on this real quick. His was like more of like a future investment into like the future of the world kind of shit, you know. Maybe it felt more like early adoption than like, yeah, cash this in and, you know, make $1,000 or whatever.
I remember I was at a party in like 2013, 2014, and one of my friends was talking about it. And they're like, one half of the room kind of knew a little bit about it, and the other half was looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know?
Yeah.
And we're all in this Facebook group. And the next day I saw this meme where it was Bison from the Street Fighter movie. And he's like, oh, buy Bison bucks. It's my own currency, that blah, 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 blah. So, and the meme was like, oh, this is what it's like when someone's trying to explain crypto to you. And so I put it in the Facebook group, and the person who brought it up got so mad at me, they unfriended me and like fucking called me a dickhead and got really upset.
Yikes.
Yeah, like, why are you picking on me? And I'm just trying to talk about what I'm into, and I'm into this new currency that's really helpful to people. I'm like, it was just a meme, you know? It wasn't that.
Yeah. Chill out, dude.
Chill out. We squashed it.
This article continues. Honestly, it's almost like a hobby now. You bet on sports, you go to your friend's house, and you're watching a game. Jacob Pollock, 20-year-old, a student at Northeastern University who began using apps to bet on sports in high school, told the Huntington News in May 2024. You both have money on the game. Maybe you're rooting for the opposite team, and then it becomes intense. It's just a thing that college students do. You get a big dopamine rush when you have it. It makes the game more entertaining. Simply put, there's a lot of money at stake for companies looking to lure in new customers. Thanks to the popularity of sports betting apps, revenue for sports betting have gone from just shy of $430 million in 2018 to a staggering $11 billion in 2023.
Oof.
And that's crazy because, like, it feels like an exponentially growing graph where it's like, if that was the case, it must be like, you know, probably not double, but close to double that now, just based on the way it's completely inundated the market.
Well, you know, it's crazy too, because like how many of these people were betting illegally for years, you know, decades before now you're finally able to do it, you know, legally.
During Super Bowl weekend last year, GeoComply, a company that conducts age verification for betting apps, processed 122 million checks, roughly 22% from the previous year. But not all betting apps are strident when it comes to keeping minors off their platforms. Social gaming sites like Fliff and Chumba Casino, which are unregulated because users can bet for free.
Those are like kid names too. They're like Happy Fun Time Place.
Websites like Spliff and Skork. And
it only requires users to be 18 and to confirm their location. Young people who want to gamble underage but can't access legal sites are starting on these social sports wagering sites that allow them to place their bets for virtual money. But then there are ways that they can translate virtual money into real money, said Leah Nauer, director of Center for Gambling Studies at Rutgers University. After downloading Fliff onto your phone with just a few clicks, you're in, and the app gives you 5,000 Fliff coins to start gambling.
What the fuck, dude? That's awesome.
Unlike apps like DraftKings, on which users must deposit actual money to begin betting, you can bet on professional and college games without shelling out your own money. But after the initial allotment is gone, you need to buy more coins. Virtual winnings can only later be cashed out for real dollars or gift cards if the user provides proof of ID, verified address, and a social security number. On its website, Fliff warns customers not to spend above your means. Set a budget for your entertainment and stick to it, the company says. Only purchase Fliff coins if you can avoid to do so. If you can afford to do so. And I think that's great advice for anybody who's looking at getting into Fliff coins.
Dude, that's so funny. It sounds so fake.
Yeah. It sounds like a joke, you know?
Yeah.
Keith White, executive director of the National Council on Problem Gambling, the NCPG, says that he thinks the mass exposure of betting apps is having a grooming effect on young people. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He told Yahoo News that he recently spoke with a group of high school juniors about gambling apps. There were 40 of these 17-year-olds, and I asked how many of them had sports betting apps on their phone, and 36 of the 40 raised their hands, he said.
Holy shit.
Many of them were probably illegal, either black market or gray market sites, White said, adding that even on sites that do screen users, many likely signed up for accounts using their parents' information. In 2024, a survey conducted at Redwood High School in Larkspur, California, found that 74% of the students said they had placed a sports bet using an online platform despite being underage. That squares with the 2023 data from NCPG showing that between 60 to 80% of high school students reported gambling money the previous year, and 4 to 6% of them will be at risk of developing a gambling problem. You know, I used to think that my generation was stupid until I read about what next generations are doing, and they really have like raised the bar for stupidity, man. Like how all of them can just be addicted to sports gambling is insane to me.
Yeah.
What did you do in high school? Like instead of gambling sports, gambling on sports, I was just like reading at the library.
Yeah, I was drawing, playing sports, hanging out with girls.
Yeah, I was a break dancer, fucking
Wow.
going to
We live
competitions
lives.
and having a little girlfriend and stuff.
I was
Yeah.
raising pigs.
I wasn't
Yeah.
betting on no sports.
No,
I was too
Also,
busy
if
raising
I'm
pigs to bet
Bible-
on sports, dude.
I didn't have any money to bet on sports either. Like, what was I going to bet on? I had worked in
You
a
know
movie
what?
theater at a fucking Walgreens.
I had a job and I was betting on me, dude.
Yeah, you know what I did do? I worked enough to save up to buy a car when I was fucking 18. So,
Yeah.
that's what I was
Maeve
doing.
Hickok, kids can't get jobs these days, bro. You grew up back then. You could fucking work at a minimum wage job and afford like a house and a car.
Yeah.
Can young people like 16, 17, like if you have a license, can you do like DoorDash and stuff, or do you have to be like 18 to do it?
I don't know
wonder.
about that. That's a good question.
Let me look it up.
Yeah. Maeve Hickok, 18, of Durham, New Hampshire, wrote a high school magazine article last year about the rise of sports betting among teens. One kid I talked to mentioned that he couldn't use the app anymore because he had spent so much money, she told Yahoo News. Hickok detailed how many of her classmates, mostly male athletes, began placing sports bets on Fliff at the start of the COVID pandemic. We were pretty isolated to begin my freshman year. And then we returned to school. I noticed that people were using these apps at a high rate that I'd never seen before.
That kid came home and said he was on Fliff, I'd strangle him.
You gotta get off that shit, son.
Be the Bart Simpson.
Why you little?
Hickok also said that she often heard of people figuring out ways to extract their winnings on Fliff despite being under 18. Fliff did not respond to multiple requests for comment.
Oh, no, Fliff.
Taking pictures of your parents' ID or using a fake ID has become normal, she said. To do research for her article, Hickok also joined the app. I bought 25,000 Fliff coins, or $5 worth. As I sat on the couch placing a bet here and there, my dad glances over my shoulder, Hickok wrote in her piece. Then he starts offering me some insight, even though there's no more of a sports fanatic than I am. We start placing our bets for the Super Bowl, which was the upcoming weekend. Just like that, sports betting had become a shared interest. The integration of sports gambling in the American living room is troubling, Nauer said. Sports wagering has become a game changer, not only because it is tacitly sanctioned as harmless by broadcasters and athletes in sports leagues, but it's also a family activity and something that parents are doing with underage kids, not really realizing that this is priming them for potential problems down the road, Nauer said. Hickok's classmate said the problems became severe when he turned 18 and upgraded from Fliff to DraftKings and promptly lost $1,000, a considerable sum at that point in his life. The value of real currency transitioned quickly for him, and he didn't realize how much money he was spending on apps like DraftKings because he was already trained to put fake money forward, Hickok said. Adding that people get so excited about being able to legally gamble. Was that?
Well, I was just agreeing that, like, yeah, I mean, the idea that this money is like doesn't exist, but then also like it's the same function on a user end of like real money. You know what I mean? Like you're just using your thumb to tap shit, regardless of whether it's actual currency or Fliff coin. It's ridiculous.
For sports,
it's like a Rick and Morty thing.
It really is.
Oh, Rick, we're almost out of Fliff coins.
Shut up, Morty. Gamble.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Oh, what are we gonna do if we can't flip our flips? We'll figure something out, Marty.
For sports betting apps, as well as leagues like the NFL, creating that excitement among users is key to their success. A big part of their model is engagement, increasing engagement with betting, and it's a big part of the league's model, White said. The leagues want you to engage with sports. These things come together. In part, that's why all gambling apps give you free tokens or credits when you sign up. Data compiled by NCPG shows that the rate of gambling problems among sports bettors is at least twice as high as among gamblers in general. On Reddit, there are dozens of threads where people share their personal stories about their own gambling addictions, and often involving the use of sports betting apps. Anyways, this thing goes on for a little bit longer, but you get the idea. It's bad out here. And I feel like it's become so just broadly accepted at such a fast rate that, like, I don't know if you could put that genie back in the bottle. You know what I mean?
No, it's not like there's going to be any regulations now with these people in charge.
Yeah, and like the more desperate and financially unstable this country and the people in it become because of all this bullshit Trump's doing and his cronies and stuff, like I imagine all these, I mean, little get rich quick type of things have always been a thing, but like people are going to be so desperate now, they're going to turn to them even more,
Yeah, and now the wolves are in charge of the hen house fully. So it's like, speaking of gambling.
Yeah. We're trying to get that Bet US money.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you would have bet with us last week, you wouldn't have lost your ass on Bet DraftKings because we got both games right.
Oh, shit. Was I killing it?
I didn't write yours down.
I didn't really do them last time.
I don't remember what you said, to be honest.
No,
I think you were contrarian on both accounts without even last week we got the both games right. The both championship games, Washington and Philly and Buffalo KC. I took Philly and KC both given the points, and they both covered. Which leads us to this disgusting Super Bowl rematch from 2 years ago.
Tony, you ever think about betting on these since you're so good with the spread?
No, I wouldn't. I don't gamble, I did it once for a spell when I was in my 20s because I knew a bookie and I was like, and I was watching a lot of football. And ultimately, I think over the year, if I remember correctly, I lost somewhere like around $300 to $400 over the course of the year. I didn't end up totally losing my ass, but I still lost at the end of the day. So I was like, this isn't worth it. You're always losing money. Same thing when I play poker, I always end up under. So.
I've always felt like it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never thought that like I'm savvy enough to figure that out. And I'm also very unlucky. So like it's like a double-edged sword of like incompetence and bad luck.
Yeah. I'm going to guess in the Super Bowl this week. I'm going to guess the spread real quick. Do you have it in front of you?
No. Why would I look that up? It's not this week. It's next week.
Oh, it's next week. I guess we'll wait till next week.
They have 2 weeks.
Yeah, the spread could change.
Yeah. Somebody could be hurt, whatever.
I'm going to guess KC's favored by 1.5. Let me see.
I think that's when I saw the lines were opening up at.
KC by 1.5?
Yeah.
I think KC's going to win. Goodell wants his dynasty.
Yeah, I can see that. In other news, McDonald's has a new burger that will have customers rushing to the drive-thru. I had to put that one aside because I love McDonald's. McDonald's is no stranger to the collaboration. It's been working with brands for years to create Happy Meals and toys that spark joy among kids and adults alike. And more recently, Mickey D's has begun teaming up with real-life Golden Arches lovers to put their go-to order on the menu. From the Cardi B and Offset meal for Valentine's Day in 2023 to the BTS meal that featured limited-time dipping sauces for your McNuggets, celeb-loved meals have been setting McDonald's apart. While few celebrities have gotten their name on the McDonald's menu, very few have been behind the whole menu item. So it seems that Angel Reese is trailblazing the Mickey D's meal as she is a women's basketball player because the new Angel Reese special features a new take on a McDonald's classic. I was shocked to see that Angel Reese of all people got a new meal.
She deserves
Because
it.
I remember when my girl s01e was the one with the meal, you know. Starting February 10th, McDonald's will offer Angel Reese Special, which features a new barbecue bacon quarter pounder with cheese,
That sounds
medium
good.
fries, and a medium drink. Reese opts for the high C orange lava burst, but you can choose your favorite beverage. The barbecue sauce comes on a quarter pounder as a newly revamped sauce that adds a bold, smoky, savory, slightly sweet flavor to the fan favorite burger. Mickey D's has a long-standing partnership with athletes in basketball. It recently announced its 2025 All-American Games roster, an event that Reese participated in 2020. Anyways, I was fascinated by that she of all people got one. You would think it'd be Caitlin Clark.
Well, didn't she beat Caitlin though when they played? So thought they played each other last year in the tournament, and she beat her. Either way,
Whatever.
I don't know who these people are, but good for
Angel
her.
Reese was like a basketball player in college who people hated because she was kind of like, boisterous, but she had a foil in this like white girl who like all these conservatives rallied around as like, see, no DEI, no wokeness. This girl loves conservative Christian values. And like she doesn't. They just like they were like, well, she's white, so she must, It was very fucking annoying. But I think most of those people have like moved on from women's basketball, luckily.
yeah, they don't care anymore.
Well, you guys, it looks like we're coming about that time. You guys want to start plugging your stuff?
Yeah, why don't you kick us off, Tony?
I got nothing to plug. I guess go check out Ibrahim's YouTube channel because that Superman video is sick.
Oh, thank you, man.
And go buy a new Cancel Pig off of Ramon's Patreon because that book is beautiful.
Yeah, on the
Beautiful
Patreon.
cartooning in that book.
Don't buy it off my website because I don't want to walk to the post office.
Well, in that spirit, check out Tony's work on Rick and Morty, which we were just making jokes about. There's no Schliff coin in there or whatever, but
I wish I would have been still drawing right now because I could have snuck a Schliff coin in there.
Oh God!
It's too late.
Well, you know what to do on your next cover.
I'll get another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some covers coming up. I'll slide some Schliff coins in there if I can get it past editorial.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing new coming up, but you could make sure, get on our Patreon. It's like patreon.com. I need to figure out if I could change the name from Mex Flantayo to New Cool Meat. I think I can, but that'll be where I'm posting some new comic stuff, which I've been working on. I think what I might do on there is like post my zine stuff independently, and then I'll put together a whole PDF so people could download that. But I kind of want to start just posting the individual stories as well as I do them, And
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough that I've been able to work on some of them lately, without being too guilty about being behind on work. Although I am a little bit behind on like commissions that I've been meaning to get done. So once I finish those, I'm going to be putting some extra time into working on my zine so I can put them on the Patreon. But,
anyone, sorry.
Go ahead.
Anyone who's listening to this who happened to pick up Friday Night Bigfoot, I'm coloring it currently, so it'll be done. I'll probably be done by next month with colors. So Headlock Comics will get that out to you as soon as I'm wrapping it up. She'll be soon.
Nice.
But yeah, like I was saying, if you're watching this still, or if you're watching it tomorrow or whatever, make sure to hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, do something. I don't know. We're still working on this. We're still a work in progress for this show, but I feel like we're starting to get some like real good momentum as like podcasters. You know what I mean? I feel like we're starting to hit grooves of like doing the show, which is what I wanted, which was a low effort show that we can do weekly, and like talk to the boys, you guys, but obviously it's all inclusive when I talk to whoever in the comments or whatever. But shout out to everybody.
Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well out there.
Yeah.
Everyone take care of each other.
Stay mentally strong, morally straight.
Yeah. Fuck Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Think globally, act locally, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, all right, everybody. We'll catch you next week where we will break down the Super Bowl, all the big storylines. We'll tell you who to bet on.
I think we might be on press row next week. That's what I hear.
we might be having to take a little trip down to, where is it, in New Orleans?
Nolans.
Is it?
That's what I thought it was.
I think it might be. I don't remember.
Oh,
It is. Because you know why I know it is? Because of the Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Restaurants.
Oh, dude, are you gonna be around tonight, D-Room, so we can watch it?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, dang. All right, well, we'll get to it. All right, everybody. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Hey, everybody.